Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to the Batman Telltale series. So we finished episode 1, so we'll just inevitably get a recap as we start episode 2, so we should hop in as quickly as possible. It's interesting, it's Batman, the Telltale series, versus the Batman, a Telltale series. They have labeled him as Batman / the Batman in a couple of different comics.
Harvey Dent, Gotham's next mayor, and eager to know you.
Vicky Vale, not interested, and reporter for the Gotham Gazette. Carmine Falcone?
So these recaps are in engine for the most part for Telltale Games, as in pretty much everybody was everything was in engine for Telltale Games.
A wild animal. It's dangerous.
And see, I guess that was the one decision there that probably could have been changed. But then the whole bruised face thing, I just don't know how you would tell that story otherwise.
How many?
I'd have to count the pieces. Falcone's calling card.
The chemicals. Where are they?
We're all being played here, couldn't you?
I feel like they shouldn't do the deep Batman voice. What's funny is they swung his arms from the front to the back on that hook, but then they clearly animated that in such a way that the hook is going towards the back. And yeah, this just doesn't make any sense. Like, it would make sense, I guess, if the big twist here was that Bruce Wayne's parents are alive and have been alive, and they weren't killed. They were just shot, but then survived in Crime Alley. But then that kind of ruins the motivation of Bruce Wayne being Batman, so that doesn't really make a lot of sense at all. So unless there was some...
You don't have to do this.
Only you now, Master Bruce.
Yeah, unless it was a case of perhaps a distant relative of the Waynes or grandparents or something, which
for both of us. But
the whole,
you should see this.
like the whole Wayne family for the most part, I think, is dead.
More allegations
and has been talked about.
The underworld. This isn't going away. It's also public and messy.
I'm gonna go with A.
All of this is a lie.
I wish I could. There are no angels in Gotham, Bruce. Maybe there never were.
Wow, his face turning down
this day for
just
nearly
jumped.
2 decades.
It didn't even smoothly transition.
Never come.
Forget the papers. I want to hear it from you.
The truth is, they were billionaires, Bruce. You can't amass that kind of wealth without making certain moral compromises. It's just not possible. That kind of money taints you.
My money has never corrupted me.
And I'm proud of you. But you're hardly the norm.
This almost feels
The
like
old
you're
Bruce
trying
the
to...
wheels of politics. Falcone was the muscle. Thomas legitimized the whole enterprise with his name.
This feels
Your
like
father,
more of a...
Hill and Falcone, they were partners.
that they're really dragging their
Happening
name
in
through the
Gotham without them
blood.
knowing.
Working with Falcone and Hill. I expected a regular accounting, not a pact with the devil.
Your father was a good man in many ways, but this was his undoing.
See, this almost feels like this has to be.
I had my suitcases ready. I couldn't stand to be around your father anymore.
This would be funny if it
They were killed.
turned out to be a
Were
nightmare.
all alone, and I just couldn't walk out the door. Everything I did, everything I've ever done, was out of love for you.
This is another example, though, of
I hope
Alfred
you can forgive me.
contributing to the craziness of Bruce.
How could I hold this against you? You're all I've got, Alfred.
I don't like the voice when he has the deep voice changer, and I don't like the voice when it's soft-spoken as Bruce Wayne either.
This is
It's
the
like-
first time I've been back here since that night.
It's weird. They
Police
just
called me to collect you. I thought they'd finally arrested your father. I couldn't believe a low-life thug like Joe Chill would have the audacity to rob and kill Thomas Wayne. He was simply too well known. Too big. Yet, there it was.
If my father was that deep in crime, he would have had enemies.
Well, it's a fair assumption. You don't think. You always said it was a simple mugging. In 20 years, you've never wavered from that story.
I can recall every moment of that night in vivid detail. But maybe that's wrong.
Sometimes we block out things we don't want to face.
This is really weird. It's just like
Maybe
slandering
there was some detail
something that has been completely set in stone as far as the Batman canon. And sure, I guess it's kind of interesting that you could do that in a Telltale game and pretty much not do it in anything else. But, yeah. I don't like it. And see,
I want him standing here, right now.
And what would the Batman do with his own parents' killer?
so this is apparently
Possibilities are
Joe
frightening.
Chill. Let's see, we need answers.
I'd only want to ask him one question. Why? My parents could have given him anything. Why would he just shoot them?
He was stabbed to death in prison. No one mourns for Joe Chill, Bruce.
Most comics, I think Joe Chill is kind of missing and you never find him again. And there is always this assumption that he might very well have been the Joker. Although in all fairness, there are several like backstories where the Joker may have showed up earlier, such as Red Hood, and there is a comic books series called The Three Jokers that tries to establish that there actually were three Jokers the whole time. So it's possible one of the three Jokers was Red Hood, one of the three Jokers was Joe Chill. Who
He just
knows?
wanted to protect us.
He thought he was invincible. Sadly, he was mistaken.
I can't picture him as a criminal. Not the kind I deal with.
In that moment, he was simply your father.
See, I kind of feel like it's almost a case where Alfred is straight up lying to Bruce so that Bruce could go down the mental thought pattern of if his parents were criminals, for him to come back and say, okay, now that you've gotten that out of your system and really thought it all the way through, do you now realize your parents aren't criminals? Like, it seems really bad to change this.
I love that movie. Saw it countless times at that theater. How long did it play there?
Only when you wanted to see it, Bruce. Your mother arranged the special screenings personally.
I never knew that. was always so good to me.
Zorro would be the movie he was watching. That also moves the timeline around a little bit because Zorro really wouldn't have been in theaters when he is his kid when he was a kid.
Pleading, you don't have to do this. And the gun fires.
And after that? There are considerable gaps in that recollection.
Maybe. Do I really want to know?
It almost seems like you could tell a story where you would potentially this is one of those sequences where you have to press forward and all the other buttons are completely like locked out. You could tell like a Flash story where Bruce Wayne at some point is going to go back and end up shooting his own parents to create himself. Although there's really no reason to do that. See, his memories are wrong too. It's very unbelievable that this guy would pull out the gun, have them at gunpoint, and then turn them around down this alley. Then shoot them. They might as well just have taken the curse away.
He told me you had it coming.
You don't have to do this. Don't walk away. He's making a mistake.
This is really crazy. Really, really crazy to do this.
Bruce, are you all right?
It wasn't a mug. They were assassinated. And Carmine Falcone knows why.
Well, we definitely are going in a different direction, certainly. Although this still runs into the same problem where there's really no reason, at least 2 decades later, if Bruce was like 10 there, he's probably 30 now. There's no reason to slander or bring up buried stories.
But getting you in to see Falcone like this, I don't have to tell you how many rules we're breaking. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm always here for you. But this could land us both in hot water.
I'm surprised Harvey
I
Dent
pulled all the strings I had with the lieutenant.
wouldn't even
Better not come back to bite us.
would have even helped him knowing this.
I get that, Hart, okay? And it means a lot to me.
I know it does, Bruce. It doesn't make it any easier. The last time we brushed shoulders with Falcone, the press made us pay.
I wouldn't be surprised if Harvey Dent is
At
actually
least
setting
tell
up
me
this
what is
meeting
about.
because they're going to be secretly recruited.
Look, I'm all for
recording.
blind support, but I should at least know what I'm getting myself into.
I'm not sure, but I think Falcone put a hit on my parents.
Wait, what? Bruce, that's terrible.
That's why I have to speak with him. I have to know for sure.
Bruce, I appreciate you opening up to me, but just try and keep it cool in there. I don't want any headlines taking away from my debate with Hill.
I feel like this game is going to have Bruce Wayne beating up
Finally put
Falcone.
Falcone in his cage. Now, thanks to the information you gave me, Bruce, he won't ever get out.
Whoa, I'm sorry. Information? What information?
Oh, I assumed you knew. I was going to contact your office first thing, but everything's been a little busy.
I gave him some evidence against Falcone.
More like a catalog of his entire criminal empire. It's a case that'll put Falcone away for life.
Is that a fact?
It's the reason I said yes to this unorthodox request.
It's weird to just see a character in the
Nice
background.
job bringing in Falcone. Yeah, that's
And
son of a bitch.
in a funny way, compared to the Arkham City games, at least we have more female police
Sergeant
showing
Renee
up.
Montoya. I just wanted to say, some of us police support you, despite what the media is saying.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Interesting, you don't even have a dialogue prompt there.
We're keeping Falcone in the infirmary. He's lucky he didn't get roughed up more. I could tell Batman wanted to kill him, but he held back. He
But then a
cares
lot of
about
these
doing the right
background
thing.
characters.
Whoever he is behind the mask, Batman's a hero to me.
Yeah. It's great to know he's out there watching over the city.
In a lot of ways, I
Alright,
think I might
Falcone's
enjoy
inside.
Batman as a character
Say what you
more
gotta say.
if he
We'll be out here.
was more honest and open about his attempts to be a good guy instead of always trying to play the anti-hero. I kind of wonder if episode 2 here is going to spend a significant amount of time just in flashback and in conversation. But yeah, it still doesn't make any sense that you would
Oh,
slander
Bruce Wayne.
the Waynes like this.
You must have some clout. My own wife can't get in to see me. Good thing I'll be out of here in a week. Just like every other time they tried to put me away.
We need to talk, Falcone.
You weren't so eager the last time we met. But then, I knew you'd come around. Especially after the press got their teeth into you. You're your father's son. Yeah, that's right. Tommy and I were close.
And this is one of the situations
More
where
like
just being
friends.
quiet,
More like cousins. Going back decades.
and probably aren't gonna.
Until you sent Joe Chill to kill him.
So that's what this is really about, eh? The pup digging up a 20-year-old killer.
2 killings, and they were never forgotten.
You and me, we're practically family. I thought you'd have figured that out by now. Hey, I tried to get through to you at Dent's party. Maybe I should have spelled it out. Got a whole closet full of birthday presents I was never able to give you. It's a damn shame, you ask me.
Convince me then. Tell me a story about our big, happy family.
There it is. Now I got you hooked.
And since they're doing these close-ups, they're having to do
And me.
better
We
lip
ran
animation
the
than
city.
I think
Still
they
do.
normally try to.
God damn this pain. Can't think through it. Morphine's on the side there. Be a good boy and help Uncle Carmine out, huh?
And see, this is crazy because A, you don't know if that's really morphine. B, you're not qualified to administer anything. And C, any camera is going to now show you injecting
40
something.
years I keep my veins clean of any of that gunk. But you never forget the tender kiss. It'd be so easy to give me the whole vial, wouldn't it? Enough there to put an old dog down forever. Of course, you'd never know the whole story.
They don't even give you
How
that
much
as
of
an
your
option.
parents do you have in you? What kind of son did Thomas Wayne make?
I'm not a murderer.
No, you're not. That's why you were kept in the dark. Much better, kid. Thank you. Gesture like that reminds me of your mother. Your father may have been the doctor, but Martha, she had the human touch.
Funny, I guess I
You got
don't
more
even
of her
need
in you,
the
to tell the truth.
left side of a...
There's a kindness in you. You care about people.
And I guess the point here is just to keep them
Mean
talking,
old bastards like
both
me.
for video game reasons and
Unless
just
they're so young.
investigation
I
reasons.
hardly remember anything
Yeah, I
about
can
it.
just play the whole
She had
game,
steel in
or
her
this whole
blood.
section, with just
She was the
one
only
half of the
one that
controller.
ever had a hold on your father.
Until you hired an assassin to kill them both.
What, you really think I hired Chill? Sure. I worked with Joe Chill from time to time. Put a button on someone, he'd take him out. But I never ordered that hit on your parents.
So who did?
You can't trust anyone in Gotham. Least of all those you call friend. Your parents learned that the hard way.
They're waiting for you in hell! The bastard had to die.
Is she like on drugs?
Hands in the air! Stand down! Get a doctor! Secure this floor! No one gets in or out! Go! Go!
Yeah, her name probably is some character in the comics who Falcone killed or screwed over in some way. Well, at least they animated cuffs on her, although badly. They're getting away from the kind of low polygon art style a little bit, but not by much.
I bought us some time, but not much. Word's gonna get out, sooner or later. Why would she do something like this? We had Gotham's biggest crime lord in our grasp. This close, we were
Something is wrong with her. That much I can tell.
I don't know. I hardly recognized her when she burst in. She was so different from the woman we met in the hall.
It's a disgrace. Another officer
These
gone
chemicals.
It just doesn't make any sense.
So how are the
She never told
chemicals
anything to the
getting
department.
around?
Falcone's case meant justice for 1,000 unnamed victims. And now it is a PR disaster. How can I run against corruption when our own cops are redecorating the precinct with their prisoners' brains? Listen, we gotta get out in front of this. We gotta spin it as best we can. Issue a statement saying that we have the shooter in custody. Details are still coming in and that we're investigating. The usual.
Harvey's right. We need to control this story or someone else will.
Then we need the whole story, not just part of it.
Isn't that what I just said?
Lieutenant,
I tried to say.
District Attorney, Falcone's lawyers are here.
Oh, Christ. I can delay them for a little while, but we still need answers.
I mean, you can easily just say he grabbed the gun and shot himself.
Tell me if she says anything. I have to know why she did this.
This is crazy that they would leave Bruce Wayne with her.
Alfred, Falcone's been murdered.
Good God.
I'm looking into
I'm
it.
afraid
I need access
Alfred
to the back computer for anything I find.
doesn't assume it's him.
Connection secured.
Alfred, I'm gonna try and confirm some suspicions of mine.
Why would you leave him with a suspect? That's crazy. And the idea of bat tech in a cell phone is probably a smart move, but then it really gets rid of the idea of potentially having separate bat devices.
Injection site. That doesn't look like blood. Her veins, still visible beneath her skin.
So yeah,
Alfred, I think I found the substance.
you could easily just say Falcone grabbed the gun and injected attempted to escape, injected morphine into one of the police officers, and then shot himself.
What's going on? But I got this awful feeling something terrible happened.
Let's see.
Everything is
Just try to be a nice guy, because that's what I want to
Easy,
do.
easy, Sergeant. Gordon and I are gonna get you through this.
through this. Oh God, Falcone, what have I done?
I believe you were drugged, Sergeant.
It would explain a lot. Listen, you have to believe me. I talked big about hurting thugs like Falcone, But I would never betray the lieutenant. Everything is so foggy. I remember a sharp pain.
There's an injection site on your neck.
Then I just felt light. Like I could do whatever I wanted. No guilt, no consequence.
Yeah, that kind of feels more
There was
like a
voice
Joker
in my ear insisting Falcone
chemical.
was gonna get off. And all I knew was that I had to stop that. I had to, no matter what. The reasons why I should've, they were a million miles away.
Did you see a face? Could you ID a suspect?
I don't think so.
You must remember some detail. Try.
I remember a hand on my arm, guiding me like a parent with a child. The voice, it was saying something about revolution.
Ah, the penguin.
Cobblepot said something similar.
I'm so sorry, Lieutenant. I've let you down.
We stalled Falcone's lawyers for now, but they'll be back. So how is she? Did she tell you anything?
Yeah, hey, don't worry about that now.
I found evidence that she was drugged. A fresh injection site on her neck.
I was out of my mind, Lieutenant. Please believe me.
Hey, I do. Of course I do.
Hey, get forensics in here. Now!
She remembers a voice saying something about revolution.
That's not much to go on.
Now, if you're bringing forensics in, let's get Bruce out.
Alfred, I gotta get back to the manor. I've got a lead on whoever's behind this.
Bruce,
It would be funny if it turned out Vicky Vale is
what are you
the
doing
bad
here?
guy.
My friends in the GCPD have been telling stories about some kind of lockdown.
I'm sorry, Vicky. I don't have time.
Don't brush me off. Word is
Interesting
there
that
were
it's
shots fired near where Falcone was being held. Know anything about that? I mean, you must have been back there when it happened.
Where did you get that?
So it's true?
No, I didn't say that.
Word is you turned over enough dirt on Falcone to put him in Blackgate Prison for life. A day after he showed up at your house. And now you're here. You can't afford to be associated with another scandal. I can keep your name out of whatever we print, but you need to give me something I can use.
Yeah,
Who
we're
fired
really
the
not
shots? Did the cop?
interacting.
I can tell by the way you're brushing me off that something happened. Just give me something to run with.
I wonder if you're just supposed to be silent here. What's funny is I just got an achievement for finishing a section when I haven't really finished a section.
Disappointing. Maybe you have more to do with this than I thought.
Like, there's really no good option there. And in a lot of ways, not talking to the press is probably the best thing he could have done. And he doesn't even seemingly turn the Batmobile into the Batmobile when driving into the Batcave, which...
Either Cobblepot drugged Montoya himself or someone
That's
else
weird.
is using his revolutionary rhetoric. Either way, I need to find him. Let's put our drones in the air and start.
This
a
game
search.
is really
We'll
frame
run a trace on his scent.
jumpy. I'm
In
seeing
the
a lot of
meantime,
times
we
it
have
just
to find out what we can do about
seems to
this
skip a lot
The
of
computer's
frames.
been analyzing the chemicals from Montoya's
And
blood.
there's really no excuse
Throw
for
that
that.
on the monitor. The residue I scan on
Uh,
Montoya.
Incorrect frame
is similar
pacing,
to the nerve
not even really that,
damage
just
drugs.
like dropping frames.
Let's see what we got.
It's ironic that Falcone died at the hands of someone drugged with his chemicals.
So it'd be funny if it was
Guess
Alfred
that's
that
how
it was
he
the
beat
bad
his
guy.
maker. Prone
That would
in his sick
kind of
bed,
make sense.
Surrounded by police who were ordered to protect him.
Murder at the hands of Montoya. That's not justice.
Whoever did this was judge, jury, and executioner. No one should act as all three.
It's a good message
He
for
told
Batman.
You something before he was killed. What did you learn from him?
Practically family, he said.
Family? Funny, I don't recall any Sunday dinners with the mob.
It wasn't Falcone who called the hit.
Yes, well, I suppose that makes sense. Your father, Hill, and Falcone would have balanced each other out.
Computers pinpointed reference points on the two compounds.
So I guess we can't do the codex or the news feed in this one. So we're brought back to the Batcave to look at and combine two samples.
The men at the docks were doused with the base chemicals. The reaction was messy. They were out of control.
But see, this is funny because I don't really consider the Penguin the type of bad guy that would use a lot of gas to drive people crazy or chemicals to drive people crazy. That definitely feels more like something that Scarecrow or the Joker would do. Although in the Batman 66 universe in particular, I think they use gas a lot and a bunch of fantastical rays and gases and chemicals as a way of making people crazy or controlling them. Yeah, this would be an interesting twist, I suppose, if the Penguin is using chemicals and he creates the Joker with the chemicals. Or it would be interesting, certainly, if it turned out that Alfred was the bad guy and he was lying the whole time. Alfred was the crook. The parents are safe. I would much be more willing to throw Alfred as a character under the bus and say he actually was the bad guy in this story to recover the default stance of the Waynes being good people.
This refined drug is like a weapon. It only took a small injection to strip Montoya of her moral filters and make her act on her base impulses. Both compounds seem stable, but they're quick to fall apart. Whoever processed it knew what they were doing.
What could the creators of such a drug possibly have in mind?
Yep.
Fighting your wars is one thing, but drugging others to fight them for you? Oh.
Considering the amount they stole from Falcone, they could build a small army of remorseless assassins.
The thought is chilling.
This is one of those cases also where you would need a genius to have made the chemical and then a criminal like the Penguin to steal it from the genius, because it's too much of a stretch to believe that the Penguin can just do that himself. And then we're back to kind of pointless gameplay where I assume is going to be the last one you pick regardless. So can we identify anything here? Let's assume that this is the Wayne building, tallest ever. This would be Arkham Asylum here. Basically, Gotham is supposed to have like 5 bridges and 5 boroughs type environments. So, let's see. I would kind of assume that this is close to what Arkham City was over in this region. A flooded district, a sunken district. It's a pretty tall building here. So I wouldn't be surprised if everything here in this lower right corner is where Arkham City was. And they are kind of trying to coordinate all of this. Hey, let's just start over here. So it says, press A when you find a portion of a signal. And it seems like it kind of randomly beeps as you move, but it really only actually beeps when you're around.
Find her now! Send a strong message.
that could be Ace Chemical. Certainly. I suspect this big tower is also part of the Arkham City area, so maybe the map got twisted around compared to what it looks like in Arkham City. This does not particularly control well. How does it feel particularly good or smooth? What happens if I press A? Nope, nothing.
Bring me her head.
It seems like we are conveniently ignoring Wayne Tower on that side. Yeah, and when doing a lot of this stuff, I definitely have to ask, is this Batman? I mean, this is the boring part of Batman at the very least, messing with a scanner. Okay. So 3 drones apparently triangulate right to this tower, which, in all fairness, 3 drones could have, from their starting positions, triangulated to a tower. Unless the idea is that this drone is somehow interfacing to a relay cell phone tower in which a signal is being broadcast and relayed to, which that's not really how cell phone towers work. They get the signal and then, for the most part, take it down to a landline at that point. They don't bounce it to another cell phone tower. Skyline Club.
The Skyline Club. Jesus, didn't even wait for Falcone's body to get cold, did you, Oz?
Going to speak with him, Bruce?
Interesting.
Bruce Wayne already tried talking with Cobblepot.
So it's taking us just back to an area we've already been, which is basically to show that they're just reusing 3D models because they don't have the budget to make new areas. And we're just into an action sequence, I guess.
Come on, I know there's gonna be more around here. The man probably had millions in his salt drawer alone. If Falcone finds out I helped you, he'll kill me. My boss won't be doing much of anything. Ever again.
And it seems like he's got some weird looking thugs. We're looking particularly for a guy with a pink mohawk. There he is. He's the one that... Nope, that's not a pink mohawk.
You lot, come check out
And really don't have a choice. That guy looks gray, the big one does.
You can help me.
Yeah, he's got
Let him go.
some kind of drug in him.
It's about time. You kill a crime boss, you'd expect a word of thanks from Gotham's #1 vigilante. Don't worry, I'll pass your gratitude on to those who made it happen. They'll be pleased to know you think so highly of their work.
You used an innocent cop to do your dirty work. I know how you've been using the drugs you stole at the docks. Where are they?
Is this about Falcone? We all saw how you felt about Falcone. Pounded him into a pulp on live TV. If you were truly the defender of this city, you'd have finished the job yourself. Admit it, Falcone deserved to die. Vermin like Falcone, they deserve to be stomped out. Believe me, I know from personal experience.
You don't decide who lives and who dies. That's not justice.
But it's bloody well satisfying, isn't it? As a show of good faith, I'm gonna let this one go. How's about we talk this through? We helped you with Falcone. Now, if we could just cut out the rest of the rot, like Wayne and Hill, ordinary folks might be able to breathe.
Let's see.
What is it about this place that attracts criminal scum like you? What does Bruce Wayne have to do with this?
Pretty boy's got himself a fat bank account, thanks to his parents. Only problem is, they took that money from people that couldn't fight back. Here's the thing. I actually admire you, Batman. We both want the same kinds of things. Me and my people.
It's weird that he's gonna be called the Penguin, and he just has nothing that even looks like a penguin to go around.
Catwoman. What do you want with her?
We had a deal. She didn't make good on it.
Like, it'd make a lot of sense if he just had a penguin logo.
Didn't work out, mate. I'd stay to watch. I would, but I still got a Catwoman problem to deal with. Oh, what's her name again?
Selina.
Yes. Oh, beautiful name.
And it's just really weird to do all these quick time events and a monster like this that's not even really being affected by it. In a lot of ways, he feels like he's getting a prototype venom injected into him, setting up the idea of something like Bane showing up, but obviously Telltale went out of business, I imagine, before they could get to a character like Bane.
Alfred, track down Selina Kyle.
I'll find her right away.
It's kind of crazy that you wouldn't be tracking her down the whole time and spying on her. Also kind of stupid that he's not just straight up calling either calling her or calling the calling Two-Face, Harvey Dent, to warn. So here's a new area. A lot of 3D modeling happening here. But it definitely looked like it was a bar in the middle of Crime Alley. It feels like I'm going to end up just as Bruce Wayne fighting my way through this.
A new twist in the race for the mayor's office as Harvey Dent backer Bruce Wayne comes under fire for alleged corruption. Joining me live is Mayor Hamilton Hill. Mr. Mayor, you said earlier today that in light of the allegations against him, Bruce Wayne should distance himself from Dent, but that was unlikely to happen. Why?
He strikes me as, well, the jealous sort. Very possessive of his toys.
What would be... it would probably be pretty smart for Bruce Wayne to just say, you know what, I'm actually going to back Mayor Hill and throw your support as a spoiler person in the other direction. Okay, so we can talk to the bartender. We can look at the jukebox.
Oh, tunes for drinking, dancing, and fighting. Not necessarily in that order.
So I imagine a lot of these signs were things that they were thinking about potentially using in other games, or did use in other games. You could change the text on them fairly easily and still have them be very useful. And I suspect some of these pool tables and such were actually in the Wolf Among Us. It definitely feels like something that should have been used for Wolf Among Us 2.
You lost? Because I don't have time for tourists. Looks like you walked into the wrong bar.
Let's see.
Do you know Selina Kyle? There are men after her.
Uh-huh. When aren't there?
Well, these ones are trying to kill her.
Hey,
Don't I know you? It is you. Knew it. The cops take all your fancy clothes?
I guess matches Malone as a concept.
Of course, you're not really the low-lying type.
Buy you a drink?
How about a few? It ain't like you're short on cash.
Leave him alone, Frank. Man's just trying to have a quiet drink.
He didn't seem to mind the company. Whatever.
Selena, I need to tell you something important.
Better be an apology. You were supposed to take care of our mutual problem. Instead, you just pissed him off.
Let's see.
That's why I'm here. You're in danger.
I've had rats on my tail all day.
The man who hired you, his name is Oswald Cobblepot.
Never heard of him.
He goes by Penguin.
Penguin? Shit. Ugh, you've got to be kidding me. You should have just killed me on that rooftop. I'm dead anyway. When you screw someone over, you really screw them. The Penguin.
Let's see. Let's go. I'll take it.
I'm going to deal with it. But I need you to tell me everything you know about him.
Let's try to keep her out of being involved.
By reputation. I'm surprised you never heard of him. He's a big deal across the pond. He's more dangerous than you think. You don't know what you're getting into.
I grew up with Oz. He's the first real friend I ever had.
I'm not surprised. Questionable morals and a penchant for theatrics. You two have a lot in common. The question is, why Gotham? Why now? It's not like he's hurting for crime syndicates abroad. Why leave that?
He thinks he's changing the world for the better, no matter the cost.
Well, he's no Joan of Arc, that's for sure. Well, I'm not sticking around here to find out.
There is a problem with this writing, definitely, where you say something and then they just come back with these quippy retorts.
A good reason not to be here when he does.
It's very bad writing.
That's your choice.
Whatever Penguin is planning, innocent people will end up in the line of fire.
Innocence, not me. Bruce, sweetie, the gallant knight thing, it really is adorable. But what would Harvey think? The two of us, working together? After all, I'm not really an all work and no play kind of girl. Harvey knows that.
You and Harvey, it's pretty clear you aren't just friends.
Please, I'm just toying with him. I only take my claws out for someone special. You and I...
Don't wreck my bar.
Yeah, I don't even know the point of that conversation, really.
Well, Bruce, you were right.
Selena Kyle, Penguin says hello.
So these are supposed to be like British punk.
We're here for her.
So we're back to another QuickTime event.
If you care about your own skin, you'll get the hell out. I said,
Alright.
leave.
This guy's not going to be talked out of this. So yeah, it feels like that previous conversation was nothing but a prelude to work towards the idea of Batman and Catwoman fighting together and finding romance in violence. Which is seemingly how they always fall in love with each other, is because of their mutual insane violent tendencies. And that definitely is a problem, that you just have these like quippy one-liners. I guess I had 2 different places I could have smashed his head into. Didn't seem like it really would have mattered much.
Not done yet.
But these QuickTime events basically have to exist because this would otherwise be just a way too long cutscene. And all this action basically has to exist because it's a Batman story, whereas you wouldn't need half as much action.
Let's give it to him.
And you really don't have to get these QuickTime events done in any level. This is so idiot-proof that anybody who can even barely press the buttons will probably succeed. Which, in all fairness, compared to the Jurassic Park Telltale game, which was pre-The Walking Dead, that QuickTime event had a really bad habit of putting nearly impossible QuickTime events in the game and game overing you and making you try again over and over again. Let's see.
Come on, this way.
Alright, well, as far as settings, you don't... Yeah, we'd have to go back to the main menu to see if we've actually unlocked any major decisions on episode 2. And I can't help but feel like we really haven't accomplished that much as far as episode 2 is concerned. That being said, it seems to me like I have unlocked 9 of 30 achievements, and it seems like almost all the achievements are around completing a sub-chapter of an episode. So if there are 6 sub-chapters to each episode, then we should be halfway through episode 2. And maybe that is true, because I could totally believe that episode 1 was nearly twice as long as any of the next episodes in the Telltale series. That way they can kind of rip you off and bait and switch, and since they're not really required to hit any real hour mark, nobody complained about any of the Telltale games being too short, when that argument could have been made, but it's hard to make, certainly, because there's always the counter argument that you were supposed to play Telltale games multiple times. But then that is the same thing that they say about pretty much all games. So yeah, we could be halfway through episode 2, and it doesn't feel like we're going to get too much more in the way of revelations. It's fairly obvious and sad it's taken me this long to realize what's going to happen is Harvey Dent is going to get hit by this chemical, and that is going to create Two-Face. That will probably happen either in the 3rd episode or the 4th episode. But I don't suspect we're going to see Mr. Freeze, the Scarecrow, the Joker, or really any other supervillains show up. I suspect we probably will run into some kind of scenario where we have to decide to either save Harvey Dent or Catwoman, and whoever we save, we condemn the other person. I think Alfred is probably safe. I think Commissioner Gordon is probably safe. One thing that does concern me is potentially the other Batman Telltale game is called The Enemy Within. It's not Batman the Telltale Series 2 per se. So it very well could be a completely separate story that has really no connection to the original Batman Telltale series. which I guess would be fine too. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna really expect too much to happen in the next couple of episodes, and whatever does happen probably is not going to matter. It's not going to start mattering really until we get about halfway through the 4th episode, and then we wrap up everything in the 5th episode. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below, and if you want to support me further, you can support me via Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Links are down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.